Sex is a deep spiritual practice. Why then this very word taboo in many cultures? And why should you not be ashamed of your desires, but on the contrary, realize their power? Hi, my name is Alexandra. I'm a scientist in the field of philosophy and religion and a mindset coach who helps people live a happier lives and achieve a new level of results in a state of inner ease and satisfaction. Today, I will reveal the sacred side of this process and tell you why sex is one of the most powerful spiritual practices. The thought I want to reveal is based on teachings of Taoism. It's a very powerful Chinese teaching that combines religion, shamanism, traditional philosophy, and even science. If people who know this teaching specifically as a modern religion listen to me, they may be very surprised. Because now Taoism is focused on finding the formula for immortality, precisely through breathing techniques, strict dieting, adherence to moral precepts, meditation, and sexual abstinence. And then some Oleksandrakhmel appears, who calls sex a spiritual practice and even refers to Taoism about everything in order. The fact is that all teachings and religions have ability to transform. Religion must adapt to the demands of society. In many countries, unfortunately, religion is under the influence of politics and is used as a tool to influence society. Therefore, some components of this or that teaching may change or be hidden. This applies to every religion, so it was with Taoism. Earlier in Chinese history, a woman held a high position in society. For representatives of early Taoism, sex was not only the satisfaction of man and his needs. The Taoists believed that women must also experience pleasure in order to benefit from this act of love. It's believed that the beginning of Taoism was laid by the Yellow Emperor, Han Dynasty, who was also the first historical ruler of China and is considered the ancestor of all Chinese. His advisor was a woman. Sun Yu, a female advisor to the Yellow Emperor, even identified 10 important signs of female pleasure in sex. The Taoists considered this process a big spiritual practice since love played a big role in Taoism, and a significant role for the Tao for this love was in woman. Why was sex considered a spiritual practice? This question is well answered by the topic of Taoist sexual practices, and we came to the most interesting part. Sex is a great spiritual process because if there are sincere, deep feelings between partners, then there is a process of exchanging love as energy. I emphasize that it's from spiritual side that sex is good, bright, and wonderful spiritual practice, when it's not about an accidental connection between people who meet each other for the first time, and not when sex in relationship is forced and one of the partners doesn't want it, or when one of the partners has fear or tries to make sure that they are loved. No, I'm talking about deep romantic relationships when both of the partners have a strong desire. Then sex is the moment you can't help but share with your loved one. It's a very good practice when we learn to love truly and not to demand that love. We learn to bring pleasure to another person. Sex as a spiritual practice is balance between two people. And the best thing about it is that in deep romantic relationships, Sex is a process then two souls meet each other. After all, we penetrate each other not only with our bodies. Many elements are intertwined on a subtle immaterial level. It's believed that we and the loved one are intertwined by all our ancestors and even DNA. Sexual practices in early Taoism are known precisely as unification of energy, unification of essences. Practitioners believe that sex can only help our spiritual development, because in that moment we know true love and merge with God. My favorite quote from Bible is, "God is love, and whoever abides in love abides in God, and God in him." It's at the moment of sex that we are most in this love, and through pleasure we reach another level of state. And this state can be compared to meditation. Meditation is a state of feeling inner joy, awareness of the present, without unnecessary thoughts. And this is exactly what happens to us when we touch a loved one, when we look into the eyes of the one we love. Meditation is not only silence. Touching another person, feeling yourself and your partner in the moment, here and now, feeling pleasure, all this is also meditation. You see the person with every cell. This is the union of two souls into a single whole, which is bigger and more powerful. This is cosmic and divine energy. Remember the first time when you were able to hold loved one's hand or kiss them? It was such an outpouring of the greatest happiness. And this happiness can't be compared with anything. The whole world freezes. There are only two of you. This is then you are completely in the moment, in exchange of attention and love with specific person. This is the moment when you enjoy just being here and now. You like to be yourself. And when sex happens with a loved one who loves every cell of you, you are no longer afraid. You go through all fears and rejections together and see only best in each other. You are pure love at this moment. Now try to not agree with me, but I'm convinced that sex is good and wonderful spiritual practice. Love is transformative, just as sex can be different. And it's important to feel it precisely at the level of the union of two souls, and not at the level of relieve tension, relieve fatigue, support relationships. Sex as a spiritual practice is the connection of essences that Taoism tells us about. Heti is a spiritual sexual practice practiced during the Han Dynasty, and which describes this unification of energy between partners. The first sex texts that came to us were found in Mawandui. These texts had some striking similarities with those of the later Chinese Han Dynasty, such as the Ishinpō. Therefore, as a scientist, I can talk about the peak of the development of sex art as a spiritual practice between Han Dynasty and the end of the Tang Dynasty. If you are interested in this topic, you can search for researches on this period, as well as about the concept of yin and yang, which has its specific meaning in sex too. For Taoists, people in love were the equivalent of heaven and earth, which had been separated and could now be together through this process. Therefore, every interaction between them matters, like every action during our love. And the Taoist texts I've been talking about also describe a large number of options for sexual interaction. They can be compared to the Kamasutra. They believed that each orgasm of one partner feeds the energy of the other partner, and this, in turn, affects the disclosure of our creativity, the creation of new ideas, and this, in turn, affects earnings and self-realization. Therefore, the conclusion of this video: instead of falling into asceticism and fear, avoid talking about sex. It's worth talking about it. It can become your source of inspiration for further goals in various fields. In addition, in many countries where sex is taboo, the issue of sex education is a priority. This is very important to avoid many sad consequences. So, love each other. I wish each of you, if you are now not in relationship, find your soulmate for this, and then together you will be able to feel what I'm saying and not just perceive it with your mind. After all, it's precisely in such sincere and strong relationships that through love we can feel ourselves higher than just the body, and we can feel ourselves higher than under the power of the brain. When energy passes between you, all thoughts and emotions merge. This is the highest degree of orgasm. Share your thoughts in the comments. I will be very interested to read about your perception of this. And also subscribe to my channel. I'm preparing a lot of new and interesting videos for you. See you!